Hello, hello, hello everybody. Laurie here from Unique in the Creek. Hello, hello. Say hello when you come in. Let me know where you're watching from. Tonight we are going to do a rainbow swirl flower wreath. Yipper. Pride, pride, pride. It's Pride Month. So we are going to do this pattern that I gave everybody, and I will post it again, this pattern, so you can make your own rainbow flower wreath. I will post it in the replay. In the replay of this video for the tutorial. Hi everybody, Sue St. Marie. Well, hello Pamela. Hi, Shelly from Michigan. Oh, Joyce from Ohio. Amber Joy from Texas. What a beautiful name, Amber Joy. Hi, Susan. Hi, Patricia. Hello, hello from West Virginia. So, this week, we're still doing Flower Week, my friends. Flower Week, well, actually Flower Month. It is Flower Wreath Month. We're just bringing it over till June, right? Because we want some of the sunshine. I don't know about where you guys are, but it's still cold here in Niagara Falls. It's cold. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Paula. Hi, everybody. Okay, so, of course, I gave out these templates, and yesterday I did the 2-color swirl. I did 2 different ones, so I did the 2-color swirl. We did the USA flag swirl. So this is the last pattern I gave out. This is the rainbow swirl. This is going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. Now I'm going to be using, believe it or not, well, you guys probably do believe it, I had every color of this mesh already opened, okay? You only need 5 pieces of each color. Hi, Tina Felcomham. Hi, Jessica from Pennsylvania. Hello, everybody. So you need 5 red, 5 orange, green, blue, purple. Now, I put pink in there. I know pink isn't part of the rainbow, but I needed one more color to make 8 colors. So I threw pink in there because I think pink looks really pretty in the rainbow wreaths. Okay, so we just tucked a little bit of pink in there. And pink's my favorite color. So we got purple, pink, lavender, and yellow. I am using horizontal wide stripe mesh. I literally had every color open. So I didn't even have to open any packages. I love horizontal wide stripe. It is a really inexpensive mesh. It's high durable. I can put this whole wreath outside and into the inclement weather and have no problem with it, okay? Now, if you ordered 1 roll of each of these colors, which we have all the colors available as of right before I went live, so just type in the search horizontal wide stripe if you're wanting to grab some before the end of this live, because I will link everything after the live in the replay. Type in horizontal wide stripe and all the colors will pop up. I'm using red. The blue I'm using is a royal blue, lavender, yellow. We still have yellow. I'm using the hot pink. We do have a light pink as well. I'm using the lime green. You can use an emerald green if you want. I just happen to have these open, okay? If you were to buy all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these colors, full roll, you can make 7 of these flower wreaths, okay? Now, I had a customer was it last year or the year before? I can't remember. Last year or the year before, buy one of my rainbow flowers, and they wore it in a parade. They wore it around their neck as a necklace in a parade. It was absolutely fabulous. I wish I gotta find the picture still. But you can, like I said, you can use, you can make 7 flowers. 7 of these flowers if you bought all 8 colors. Now, I'm using all horizontal wide stripe because I happen to be lucky and have a warehouse full of mesh and a whole craft room full of mesh. If you have mesh open, for instance, you had horizontal wide stripe in these 3 colors, but you had a royal blue in a fabric mesh, you had a yellow in a poly burlap, and a lavender in a wide foil. Use them all. You can mix and with this rainbow, you can mix and match different textures of mesh. It doesn't have to be all the same, all the same of horizontal wide stripe. Okay, so use up what you have. Like I said, if you have you don't have a yellow and horizontal wide stripe, but you have a yellow fabric mesh, use the fabric mesh. Your customers are not going to know the difference. I promise. Okay, unless you use like a deluxe foil or something really sparkly, use up what you have. All right. So what I have done, oh, and I got this pretty, now it is Pride Month, but rainbows are just, for Pride. So I got Dave to bring home this really pretty 6-inch aluminum sign. It's all the rainbow colors in a butterfly. So I'm going to use this as my center of my rainbow flower. So this is a 6-inch aluminum sign. We'll see how it looks when I'm done. If it's too busy, this sign might be too busy for all the colors. If it is, we'll just make a flower center using one of our mesh colors right in the center. Okay, so what I have done, this is the pattern I'm using. What I've done is I've incorporated the pattern right on to my board. If you can see that tick-tock. So I have made dots, okay? So I got pink dots, so I know that's going to be pink, purple, blue, green, orange, red, and yellow, and lavender. You can just write the actual letters on your board. It's so much easier if you transfer your pattern and write it on the board, which is amazing about the Unique in the Creek boards, is you can write your pattern right on the board. So I don't have to keep going back and referring to this pattern because I've literally put it on my board. So we're going to go around row 2 and I'm going to put whatever colored dot is for that zip tie. That's the color I'm going to be putting in that zip tie. Okay, so we are using the large Unique in the Creek wreath board. This is the back. We're using row 2, normal holes. Row 3, normal holes. Row 4, normal holes. And all of row 5. So normal holes and shared holes. And I have preloaded my zip ties already. Preloading means you're going to go down one hole, back up the other. You're going to do it up until you hear like a zipping sound. Hear that sound and it locks. Don't do it. Only do it up until you hear that clicking. You want as much room as possible in between the board and your zip tie. Okay? So you don't have to be creative like me. I happen to have all the different color markers and stuff like that that I could put the colors. You can just put whatever you can put R for red, O for orange, just like the pattern, okay? And the petal I decided to use for this flower tonight is the Pinwheel petal. You guys all know I hate wood burning, so this petal is fabulous because it looks just like a Dean Michael petal. So it's like a spade almost, but you don't have to wood burn it, and it's actually both exact same on both sides. This is a great, great petal if you're like me and hate wood burning. And this petal is amazing for with any mesh. So this petal works with any mesh, and that's why I picked it. So your petal won't look too different if you used, some fabric mesh and some poly burlap and some horizontal wide stripe. This petal, no matter how you fold, whatever mesh you use, if you fold it the same, it's going to look the same, okay? So that is my reasoning for using this petal. However, you can use whatever petal you want, whatever's your favorite. Yesterday I used the Bubba, the day before I used the Lolly, today we're using the Pinwheel, okay? So what I've done is cut my mesh at 10 inches. So you're gonna cut 5 of each color, only 5 of each color of the rainbow, okay? So 10 by 10. I'm gonna use it curl up, which means when I let go of it, it curls up on itself, okay? So that's what curl up means. I'm gonna turn it into a diamond shape, always having my factory edge on the top left and bottom right. That way, whenever I make a petal, it always looks the same, okay? I'm going to take the top corner of the mesh, bring it and match it up to the bottom corner, okay? We're making a triangle shape. I've zip tied the bottom of the pre-made petals. If you zip tie the bottom, it acts like a stopper. So if somebody were to go pull your petal, that petal is not going to come out of the board, okay? So you can either make your petals and put them right in the board, or you can pre-make them like I did by using a little zip tie at the bottom. I have a little box of 4-inch zip ties here. Or you can use the little rubber bands, whatever you're choosing, okay? So, diamond shape. Now I'm going to take the right side here, and this top edge on my right side is going to go straight down the middle. So I'm going to grab both pieces here, and I'm going to bring this top edge, it's going to go straight down the middle of my mesh, just like that, okay? And if you need to follow, my right hand has the tattoo, okay? So, straight down the middle. Now we're going to lift it up off the table, flip it over, and now this top edge is going to go straight down the middle on the back side, okay? So bring it straight, right down the center, just like that. So it gives you like a diamond or a kite, looks like a kite, okay? So both sides are exactly the same. So it really doesn't matter what side you end up putting the petal onto your board, okay? And now I'm going to pinch. Now for this petal, I like to pinch it in the middle, because if you kind of do it like this, you might see this fold here. It might flip over and make your petal look funny. So what I like to do is I like to pinch it in the center first. So I grab that fold, and then I bring in the top, and then I bring in the bottom, like that. So I always make sure that that fold is flat right down the center, okay? Then I'm going to take a little zip tie. This is a little 4-inch zip tie, and you can either use a zip tie, you can use a rubber band, or the next one, I'll put it right into the board. And then I'm going to zip tie 2.5 inches. So from the tip of the tail here, there's 1, 2.5. I'm going to do that zip tie up at 2.5. Okay? Just like that. You don't have to do, somebody asked on YouTube if you have to do it 10 by 10 or 10.5 by 10.5. Do it 10, even if your roll is 10.5 inches wide. With this petal, it's very forgiving, so cut your mesh at 10 inches. That'll give you more pieces of mesh, okay? You don't need a total complete square with this petal. So I would rather you guys get more petals out of a roll of mesh than wasting, that 1/2 inch. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. And now I'm going to cut the end of that zip tie off, and then I'm just going to cut a little bit of the tail and trim it up just to make it nice. And then I'm going to take this petal and I'm going to put it happened to be number 2, where the number 2 is yellow. I'm going to put the end of my petal right into the zip tie, do that zip tie up just past that little zip tie I put at the end, And that way it's like a stopper. Okay, so if I yanked as hard as I can, that petal is not coming out. Okay, and that's the reason we put the little zip tie in at the end. Okay, and we're gonna go around, you're gonna go around each row by one row. So we're gonna go all the way around row 2, cut off the zip ties, and then we'll go around row 3. So the next petal, I will do more petals, I just happen to have some made. The next one is red. And this will make a swirl. Eventually when we hit to row 5, you'll see that it's going to make all the colors are going to make a swirl, okay? Next one is red. Again, going past the zip tie. And then orange. Like I said, I will be making more petals as we go along here. So orange, orange, green. Oh, I'll use a green here because I have to make one. So again, curl up, diamond shape, top corner to bottom corner, make your triangle. Okay, this top edge is going to go straight down the middle. Okay, grab that whole thing, flip it over. This is going to go straight down the middle. So you have like the diamond shape. Again, I'm going to pinch right in the center so I have that fold. Bring the top in, bring the bottom in, and I'm going to measure 2.5 right where my finger is. That is 2.5. I'm going to put it right into the board. This is if you don't have little zip ties or rubber bands. You can make your flower without pre-making them. So put it right in, and I'm going to do my zip tie up right before my fingers where I'm holding. Now if you measure your tail, like I said, I'm doing it at 2.5. If you measure your tail, your petal length will be the same for every petal. Okay? So I don't have to worry about measuring to make sure that each petal is the same length, because it will be. Because where I put my zip tie is right at 2.5 inches. Oh, you did a rainbow butterfly? That's awesome. I would love to see it, Christine. Are you part of Unique Wreath Creators? If you are, post it in there and tag me. I'd love to see your rainbow butterfly. Okay, so 2 blue. Now we have 2 dark purple. And I just clipped them together so they wouldn't be scattered all over the place. And another thing too, when you clip them, you can make them really pointy, because the mesh, once you clip it, the mesh will stay nice and pointy after a little bit of time. Okay, next is pink. So if you're wondering, I'm looking at the little dots I did that correspond with the pattern here. Okay. I'm so excited to see this finished. So pink, pink, and we're almost done row 2. We got 2 lavender, you have a few little strings. I didn't wood burn it, so that I will have a few little strings. That's okay, I'll cut them. Lavender, lavender, and we're back at the top, which the last one is a yellow. Okay, there is row, the very first row done. I'm going to go around and cut off the zip tie tails. This is just a little wire nipper. You can use old scissors. Don't use your good sharp scissors to do this because it'll dull your scissors really fast. Or you can get a zip tie pew pew. on Amazon. It tightens and pulls and cuts your zip ties all in one swoop. All right, our rainbow has started. All right, so it doesn't really matter where we start on the next row. So I have the orange right in front of me. Okay, here we go. Orange. And once we get to row 4, you're gonna start seeing the swirl come. And then green. And then blue. Dark purple. So again, we're using 5 pieces of each color. Pink. Again, look, if I tried to pull that, that's not coming out at all. Lavender. Yellow. Yeah, a Christmas one would be cool. I did do the red and white one, but all you have to do is find a sign. If you want to do the double color swirl, find a sign you really like and pick 2 colors out of the sign. Okay, there is row 3 done. So you can see how fast this goes once you have the petals pre-made. All right, look how pretty. Can you guys starting to see the swirl? All right, we have another green here, so I'll do another petal. 10-inch, curl up, diamond shape, top corner to the bottom corner. Now, if you're just new and you're really not sure, obviously the center is right where the tip of your triangle is. But however, you can also fold it over in half, match up the 2 corners here, and then kind of press down the center, open it up, and you can actually see the line, the straight line down the center. So if you're not too sure, or you want to be actually absolutely precise, you just fold it in half. And again, you can either use rubber bands, zip ties, or put it right into the board. However, like I said, I'm doing 2.5 inches for my tail. So I'm using my measuring, or my mat here. Just trim it up. And then we're starting row 4. Green, blue. You guys are going to start to see the color swirl. Dark purple. I really have to find that picture of one of the customers that bought one of these and wore it, literally wore it as a necklace in the Pride Parade. It was fabulous. And then went home and hung it on his door. Anyways, okay, we need pink. Curl up, diamond shape, top corner, bottom corner. Again, beginners, if you need to know where your center is, fold it over, press down the middle here, and you'll make a line. Take that top and follow that line all the way down. Grab the whole thing, flip it over, and you can see through your mesh where that other piece is. On the other side, pinch, bring the top in, the bottom in. Just zip tie. Again, zip tie or the rubber band is optional. It makes me feel more comfortable, even though I didn't sell this, it makes me feel more comfortable having a stopper. That way I know if somebody does grab it or something, it's not going to come out. Okay. pink, lavender, yellow. This is a perfect petal for this wreath. It really is. Red. Are we seeing the swirl? Give me a thumbs up if you're starting to see the swirl. We got some color going here. Swirls. Swirls. Orange. This is the large board. And once we're done, we'll go around and make sure all the petals are, you know, the right way. Not the right way, but lined up. See, the pink looks good in there. I like the pink in a rainbow. I needed one more color. Alrighty, here we go. Last row. Now the last row, we're doing, it looks like a row of stitching with your zip ties, because we're doing the normal holes and the shared holes. So there is 8 on row 5, and then obviously you can see the 2 holes in the center, and that's for your sign, okay? So the pattern still continues on row 5. It's just going to get a little tight in there, so you want to make sure that your mesh is cut pretty, you know, about a ½ an inch away from your zip tie. Cut this one off. Okay, here we go. Blue. Dark purple. There's that swirl. There you can see the blue, the purple, pink. Oh, you have to make a pink one. Shorter. I don't want too much bulk in the center here. Lavender. Yellow. Oh, I gotta do the yellow one. So this one is not cut to a perfect square. I don't know if you guys can see. So there is the edge right there and then right there. You'll see that it won't make a difference, that it's not a complete square. Both will, all of them will still look the same. And you don't have to use, you'll get more pieces. So you can get 7 wreaths out of the 8 rolls instead of 6 if you do them at 10 inches. Yellow, red, almost done. So I folded these while I was watching TV up in my living room. So I have this little cutting mat that I put on my lap. You could even use a cookie sheet or a cutting, whatever's flat and hard, use it on your lap and watch TV as you make petals. Orange. And the last one, green. Look how awesome that is. Okay, let's cut it off. Can you guys see the swirl now? Here we go. We have a swirl. We have red, orange, green, blue, purple, pink, lavender, and yellow. So I just want to move these around to make sure they're all where they're supposed to be. Just give them a little kind of tug straight. You give them a good tug, because especially if you put your little zip ties on the end. Okay. Party on the front, business on the back. So we're going to put a zip tie right at the top. So you'll see the Unique in the Creek logo. So we're going to put a zip tie right there to make a hanger. So down and back up, and you can feel the divoted holes there. Those are your hanging holes. It is 8 colors of 5 petals I used. So I used 8 different colors, 5 petals each. And if you get a brand new roll of each color, you can make 7 of these. So these are great for a multiple in your Etsy store. And there is the pattern that mimics what I made here. Now, I did pick out this really cute 6-inch sign. Oh, I think it might be fabulous. Now, you could put, you can make whatever you want for the center. There's prefabricated centers. Let's see what I have. Red. So if you have a prefabricated, you have lots of color. You can choose one of the colors from your wreath. Red. I'm not sure if I like that. I think I like the sign better. I showed you guys the other day how to make a flower center out of deco mesh. You can pick one of the colors of mesh that's in your flower and make a center with that. I don't think I would use the center. I don't think I would use all the colors. I would pick just one color for the center and use that, because it's already busy, right, with the swirl. I thought this might be too busy, but I really think I love that butterfly sign. Now we do have all kinds of signs. This is a 6-inch. I think 6-inch for the flowers is perfect sizing. You can use 8-inch. Let's see. This is 8-inch. That works as well. If you want to use row 5, or if you don't want to use row 5, then you can even go up to a 10-inch, and you won't see any of these, but you won't see any of the zip ties either. So if I did a 10-inch, pull these in, you would only have to do row 2, 3, and 4. This is a 10-inch. So you can see that you still don't see the board or the zip ties. Obviously this sign doesn't match, but just an FYI. Could you tuck the pieces on the top row? I'm not sure what you're meaning. Anyways, okay, so I'm going to use this sign because I really like it. So with our signs, you do get a cable mount and you do get a pipe cleaner. I like to use the automotive tape. You only need a tiny little piece and this stuff sticks to everything. It's like a double-sided tape. And you get a big, this was pretty big, and you just need this little tiny piece. I find getting this red thin film part off, I find it hard to get off because I have no fingernails. Come on. I can't get it off. Come on. There it is. The hardest thing of the whole wreath, getting the double-sided tape off. All right, so I'm going to put this in the middle. So I'm going to put this on my mat. So it's a 6-inch sign, so there is the 3-inch. 3-inch, so there's the center right there. Push down. The tape you can get at on Amazon. You can get it at Home Depot. It's called 3M automotive tape. If you go onto our website, uniqueinthecreek.com, go under Laurie's favorite tools, and I have your signs always fall. How can that be? You have to let it wait for 24 hours. I've never had a sign fall off with this. They use this automotive tape for the outside on cars, you know, like trim and stuff like that. So once it's cured, it's not coming off. So I'm not sure why your sign fell off with the tape. Anyways, so where I'm gonna go is these 2 center holes. One, you could probably cut your zip tie or your pipe cleaner in half. And you're going to go down 1 hole. That's why you don't want too much bulk in the center, because you do want to see your holes. 1 hole, the other hole. Okay, once it's on there, give it a pull till you feel some resistance. Give it a twist. And then we're going to cut the excess off. Put it back down the hole. So we keep the back of our wreath nice and neat and tidy. You're going to put your business card or your a sticker for your business where they can buy their fall and Christmas wreath on the back of the board, or even write on it with a Sharpie marker where they can purchase another wreath. Alrighty, so there we go. Business on that's why I always say business on the back and that party on the front. And I'm just going to turn this a little bit. Oh yeah, I never thought of that. Thanks. Oh, hi Jackie Blewett, how are you? And there we go, my friends. Again, you can use whatever center you would like. I really like this little butterfly. And there we go. Pink, lavender, yellow, red, orange, green, blue, dark purple, and there is our rainbow flower. All right, everybody, there is your patterns. I am done. Yay! Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I think next on my docket is a dragon. I've never made a dragon before. So this should be interesting. My dragon wings and mask and everything came the other day. So my son wants a dragon for his gaming room. So he wants a black and gold. So we are going to do a black and gold dragon. Should be interesting. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you guys all soon. Bye, everybody. Bye, TikTok. Thanks for joining me.